WPBS TV3 Sports welcomes you to Portland High School football. We now send you up to the booth and welcome in Steve Schwartz on play-by-play and John Coyne on color commentary.
And I am Steve Schwartz, along with John Coyne and Dave Elowich on camera and Dave Levine on statistics here at Fitzpatrick Stadium on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, about 75 degrees. We're pleased to have John with us here for the first time this year as the Dogs are about to come out. The Dogs have several leaders in some of the Northern Maine statistics. For example, they've got in kickoff returns, Vinny Pasquale and Ben Stasium are right up there. Zach Elowich leads the team in rushing, and their defensive stats are really terrific in terms of Teron Moss, Ben Stasium, Zach Elowich, leaders in tackles in Northern Maine. But, John, it's not all about individual statistics. The Dogs come in here today 0-3. Windham comes in 2-1.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. You're absolutely right. Windham's 2-1, and Coach Matt Perkins has got a great squad going here this year. Their last victory, a 20-14 victory over Lewiston, comes late in the game with a punt block in the end zone, and Justin Lebrecht picks that up. They're led by Tanner Bernier at quarterback and Stuart Salam in there as a running back. So they've got a pretty good squad over there. I understand today to be a decent game for the Dogs, and it is great to be back. 75 degrees on the first day of fall. You can't believe that we're sitting here in polos and in shorts, but I'm sure we'll take it later on weather-wise.
Folks, we're going to bring you all of the exciting action in a moment. So it looks like Ben Stasium is going to be deep for Portland, receiving along with Teron Moss on the left side. The up backs are Vinny Pasquale on the right. Zach Elowich and Griffin Foley. The kicker for Windham is I think Valier is going to kick off here. Liam McCusker does their field goal duties.
Yeah, McCusker will be a factor here. He has a field goal in one of the earlier matches. I'm still stuck on soccer.
But that's assuming he's here, as Zach Elowich is going to fall on it at about the 21.
Yeah, McCusker is a varsity soccer player as well, so I'm sure that he'll be here today for this. Maybe just Valier does the long kickoff. So it was a different strategy there with the squib kick early. Elowich picks it up and puts Portland into their offensive mode.
We're going to actually see if McCusker is even here today, because that you would expect him to handle the kickoff duties. Anyway, it's 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Teron Moss lines up behind center today, so that's quite a difference, folks. And Vinny Pasquale takes the handoff. Nice cut. And brought down by Anthony Kilgallen. a linebacker.
So this is Moss's first start at QB here. Interesting going through the season to see the different changes at quarterback here for the Dogs.
Well, it has indeed, as it's going to be 2nd and 1. In the gun is Moss. And he's going to take it himself, and he's going to get the first down and more as he brings it up to the 35-yard line. It's a 4-yard gain and a first down, Portland.
And Moss looks more like a like a wildcat quarterback up there. It looks like we're going to run first a little bit here with him behind under center this game. And you say under center loosely because he's been in the shotgun for their first 2 plays.
We've got Elowich in the backfield now with Moss. 2 on the left and 1 on the right in the wideout. And Moss is going to take it himself, and he's going to go out to wide right. Along the sideline, he'll step out of bounds at about the 50.
If you watch that play develop, Steve, and you'll see Elowich come off in that wildcat formation. He takes on that linebacker and opens that side, allowing Moss that terrific gain.
That's a nice 15-yard, actually about a 9-yard gain, so it's going to be 2nd and 1. Stepped out considerably, 6 yards less than we thought. But 2nd and 1 from the 44. Moss in the backfield, Elowich to his left. On the right side is Sam Nope lining up as a wideout, and we have a timeout. So it's going to be timeout Portland with 10:54 left in the first quarter. The Dogs are on the march. It's 0-0. So, John, the thing about Teron being behind center is he brings a lot because he can he can throw, hand off obviously, but he can run and he keeps it.
He's an excellent athlete, and it's just a testament to him because he's been on this roster for a couple of years, and really we hear his name on the hard court in the winter, and to see him continue to hang around doing this when he is such an athlete in the winter sport is just good for him.
Oh, look at Zach Elowich go through. And he gets the ball.
That'll add to Elowich's totals for the year so far. It looks like he's having a great season. Given everything that's going on with these guys, this isn't where they want to be. Coach Hartman's really working at having this program return to its prominence. And we're just in a down year here, but you see these younger athletes making some great moves and putting themselves in a position.
So Moss now cuts, and on the strength of an Elowich 8-yard run, they had a first down, and he gets a few here. Couple.
That Valier names you're going to hear, he's been noted a lot in the press for his time with Windham. That first victory they had 24-0 over Chevrolet earlier in the year, which was a pretty big victory for that program. They ran into the same beast that we did last week against Bonnie Eagle with a 57-7 loss.
Well, that is a beast, Bonnie Eagle. 2nd and 8 from the 46. Again in the gun. Got one in motion. And we have a motion here, illegal motion on Portland, so there'll be a penalty. Five-yard penalty. First penalty of the game. John, earlier in the season, penalties were the bane of the Dogs. The first game this year, just time after time.
When you're getting a team together, younger athletes in some of these key pivotal roles, that's going to happen, and you hope to see as the season progresses that those start to go away. They become more disciplined as a team.
2nd and 13 from the 49. Moss out to throw, and he's going to be brought down by 77, Justin Lebrecq, the big defensive lineman.
Moss gave him a nice head fake there, but there was nothing for his range there.
Got about a 3-yard loss. So, 3rd and 16.
Well, he just rolled out there, Steve. We'll see if he's going to go shotgun. We've got 3 receivers there.
And he gives it to Elowich in the middle, but Elowich is wrapped up pretty quickly by number 11 on the Windham.
Mr. Unrostered.
Well, if he plays a prominent role in today's game, we're going to have some problems. Our friend Rich Drummond, the former athletic director for Portland High School, is not here today as he's attending the Bonnie Eagle Windham soccer match, probably at Windham. But the punting duties here are Zach Elowich. He just gets it off, and it's going to take a little bit of a Windham bounce and go out at about the 40. It will be marked there, 1st and 10. We'll be back. So, John, it's 1st and 10 from the 40, and we'll get a look at Windham's offense here. Their quarterback is in the gun, and that is going to be number 20, Tanner Bernier. And watch out on the right side as Bernier keeps it and breaks it.
Got about a 20-yard gain. Bernier got around that corner really well. Vin Pasquale was there to the spot and cut him off, but you got to hope that they can contain that corner and get some penetration.
Yeah, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line now. Bernier still in the gun, and we have a penalty. It's offsides, Portland. So they'll mark off 5, and it'll be 1st and 5. Portland's still, John, a very, very young team. Kind of sowing their oats here and feeling their way. Windham's on the 35, 34-yard line. Bernier in the gun. And again, Portland jumps.
So, it would really be interesting, Steve, to see what's going on down there. You see a lot of jumping down there. You don't know if it's Portland trying to pull Windham off or how that's going, what the sequence is like, whether or not Tanner Bernier's got a hard count there that's getting them going. I mean, that's 10 yards and penalties and a 1st down, and Windham has only run 1 offensive play, and they have 2 first downs already.
That's right, and they're on the 29-yard line now, and it is a long count, but this time no. And Zach Elowich with a great tackle of Maxwell Marshall.
There was no doubt what Elowich was doing there. He jumped on that running back real quick.
Marshall's a freshman, and he's listed as an offensive and defensive lineman.
We all learn that data is only as good as the person putting it in. So maybe there's a misprint on that.
Good pressure by Elowich, but still getting the pass off and complete to Nathan Watson before he's brought down by Elowich. Oh,
Stasium had that tackle.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That was a nice tackle by Stasium. Yeah.
It's 3rd and 4 from the 23. 1 in motion. It's Farnsworth tackling Valier.
So it's interesting. You watch Tanner Bernier hand that ball off, and as he's sticking it in the basket to his running back, he secures it, and he's got another hand on his back, kind of like pushing him along, saying, let's go. That affirmative tap, like let's gain us a couple yards.
It's 4th and 2 from the 21, and they're going to go for it. And Stasium and Elowich in on the tackle of Tanner Grover.
This will be about ball placement right here, Steve.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be play shy by about a couple of yards. So they're going to. Oh, they're going to call it a first down.
Yep. Got that little extra push. He got over the tackler a little bit. But like we've said it before in our other roles, Steve, it looks a lot different when you're right down there in the middle of it as an official.
And they have a better angle, of course. It was probably spotted there to begin with, but our angle's a little different as Bernier's back to throw on the right side. He's got an open receiver.
Got 2 flags on the play. One's coming from the back judge, or the official. That came out real quick as Bernier was rolling. And then they had a secondary one come out.
Too many men on the field, I think, possibly for Windham, and also holding. That's called illegal participation. Too many players on the field, according to Peter Gribben, our erstwhile stadium announcer. Legend, as this is the Peter Gribben press box that we're in today, John.
That's right. It's an honor and a privilege to know a guy like Peter, who's been such a huge part of Portland High School during his lifetime. People know they're in the game because of the way and the emotion that Peter puts into it every game that he's here.
1st and 10 from the 28. And Vallier's wrapped up. Ben Levine in on that tackle.
Yeah. Levine and Cole Farnsworth are quick to that ball. I mean, we've got 2nd and 19 on our scoreboard, so Windham's going to see what they can do. They're still well within range here.
I'm trying to figure out why it was 1st and 10 with the penalty that they just had before. Maybe that was just a scoreboard mistake. Bernier's back. He's got a little time. He's going to go up that hole in the middle. Farnsworth, Elowich, Stasium are there.
Sounds like a firm of some kind.
The law firm. We had that once in Portland soccer. I think it was something like Schwartz, Day, and O'Kelly or something like that in the back defense for Saco for Portland. We have a player down for Portland. It looks like it's Ben Levine, but we're going to take a break and we'll come back. So Ben Levine comes off under his own power, which is good to see. Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him. It's 3rd and 9 from the 18 now. A big opportunity here for the Dogs to hold if they can. Valier and Bernier. Almost an audible play change as they've got Coffin in motion. Bernier will take it on the right side, put his head down, dive, and he is brought down by Jonah Green and Teron Moss.
And we're in 4-down territory, so he's trying to get as much as he can. They'll have a short 4th and a long 2.
So it's on the 18, 4th and 2. Little screen pass on the left side. And Moss, with a little help from Stasium and Pasquale on the tackle.
Now Hunter Coffin takes it, receives it well, and then gets around there and battles, pick up a couple more yards. They're going to be just on the 7-yard line, 6-yard line. Looks 1st and goal to go.
Junior Carrera is warming up a little bit here for Portland on the sideline. So a sustained drive here by Windham. One in motion. Into the slot, and here we go up the middle with Valier. It's going to take a few to bring him down. And credit for that tackle should go to Sam Nope. So it was a flag on the play, John.
And the official on the far side had a conversation with the referee, so that was, I didn't see the flag actually get thrown.
It's first and goal from the 12 now. Bernier to Valier up the middle, and there's a penalty, and it's right in front of the referee, and it looks like it'll be a holding on Windham.
Wow. Well, he giveth and he taketh away here. Portland gave them a first down, 2 first downs after only running 1 play, and Windham's getting bit by the penalty bug early here and negating 2 really nice plays, bring them right to the doorstep. But Portland's getting cheated, one would say, if they're being held.
It's first and goal from the 24. Haven't heard that a lot in the course of a football game, John. Bernier, though. Yeah, that's a nice catch there, and a little bit of traffic by Grant Jacobson. He's brought down by Ben Stasium.
Yeah, that was excellent. It wasn't a clean grab. Stasium was right on him, and a quick bobble, but he did bring it in. Levine's doing some range of motion stuff with the training staff here in Portland. They haven't taken his helmet away, and that's a great sign.
Second and goal from the 15 now. 2:28 left in the first quarter. 0-0 is the score here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Rolling to the right is Bernier. And a nice defensive effort there by Pasquale. And Coffin cannot hold on.
Watch that one as it developed. Tanner Bernier threw that ball well before Coffin made that turn. They knew exactly what was going on. Vin Pasquale in great position for that.
It's the first incompletion of the day for Windham, as Bernier has been converting, firing on all cylinders. But it's third and goal from the 15 now. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the quarter. Bernier back to throw. Yeah, and actually that was some great pressure there. A really great defense as Hervé Irakosi was on his way in. Large Portland lineman, 6'3", 230, but he was, I think, that's who it was. Like, what I can tell you is that Mazziotti and Lebrecq for Windham are the strong offensive linemen, and I don't think actually Hervé was in the game. So we're back, folks, here as it's going to be fourth and goal from the 15 for Windham. They talked over a play, and we'll see where it leads as the trainers continue to work on Ben Levine on the bench. Looks like he might have had an injury to his arm. Ryan Lucas and company. And the officials are having a conference with the Windham coach, so we'll take a timeout as well with 2:14 left in the first quarter. We are now back. We're not sure what the nature of the conversation was, as our sideline reporter Susie Colbert is not here today. So Bernier fakes, rolls out right, and he looks in the end zone for Valier, too far ahead. He had Cameron Conley on him, so the Dogs hold. They'll have 1st and 10 on their own 15-yard line with 2 minutes, 9 seconds left. So, John, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 15.
Well, Windham had a nice sustained drive there. Portland was able to stop that, which is great. They're left alone with 85 yards to go here with Teron Moss in the shotgun.
Elowich up the middle. Boom. And he is hit hard by Lebrec.
Boom is right.
And,
you can see that snap from here as he hit that hole. He hit it hard, and
Jacobson, yeah.
Equal and opposite force came in and met him there.
Portland has pretty much been outsized in terms of every line they faced this year. They're a young team. As we've said, it's 2nd and 9 now from the 16. Moss in the gun. He's got one in motion, and he's going to take it on the sweep. So it stays him on the left side.
Tanner Bernier came across. He had nice pursuit as he came from the middle of the field and had his eye on Stasium for that entire run.
It's about a 6-yard run, though, so it's going to be about 3rd and 3. From the 28-yard line, we're in the last minute of the quarter. Ball is on the 23 as Elowich and Moss have a discussion. And Elowich with a nice block.
Lebrec is in there again.
That's going to be spotted shy by about a yard. And Elowich will be back to punt.
We have to watch the protection up front by the Dogs here. The last time out, Anthony Kilgallen got through, nearly blocked the punt off from Elowich's foot. And Elowich really taking a look at what the clock and a lot of clock management, waving off his center. They didn't want to get that play off, which is that's a high IQ, high sports IQ to say, let's wait, let's take a break. But with the end of the quarter, we'll take a break here and we'll be back.
So after the smart move by Zach Elowich, they'll switch sides here, and he'll get the punt off now to begin the second quarter. And it's going to be a line drive. It'll be picked up. It's actually not going to be picked up, and it takes a nice Portland bounce all the way down to about the 31-yard line, where it's down by Ben Stasium.
There you go. That's
a 32.
Great to add to the stats for Portland's punter and Zach Elowich. It looks like Zach doesn't come off the field much this season. And has grown as we watched him as a freshman get a little bit of time in there, get a taste of it. Than last year, a lot more on defense, and this year it seems to be that he's not going to come off the field, which is great to see the growth of the younger athletes.
So here we go now, folks. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 32, from their own 32, the Windham Eagles.
So Windham put a pretty well-sustained drive up here in the first quarter, and we'll see what they do. They got plenty of field to work with over almost 70 yards.
Bernier still rolling out left pretty far and close to the first down or more here. Just shy, actually.
Nice
Zach
job.
Elowich. Nothing doing there.
Shot that gap really well out of his linebacker position there, Steve, to have a negative impact.
So the freshman Maxwell Marshall gets an introduction to Zach Elowich. And it'll be 3rd and 1 still. Got a report from the sideline. Ben Levine has a shoulder injury and is questionable for a return. Bernier, first down and more, as he's brought down by Jamal Mariba. The Eagles will have 1st and 10 at midfield. No score here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Here in the 2nd quarter of football action. Coffin is thrown out of the club by...
I think it was Louis Gaddis had that tackle, and you're absolutely right. He was denied entry.
2nd and 10. The pitch goes out on the right side to Coffin. This time he's brought down by Elowich and Mariba. And for good measure, Jonah Green.
So how many ways can we statistically cut down a tackle?
3rd and 4 from the 43. A big play here for the Dogs. Bernier's back. We have a flag down. Oh, just outside the outstretched arm of Griffin Foley.
And we know he's got short hands. That was a little high even for Foley to get up to. It was a great effort there with Bernier knowing he's got a flag on the play. You could see it clearly in front of him.
We have illegal motion on the part of Windham, so that'll bring it back if they take it. But they're not, because it's going to be 4th and 4 here. Speaking of Foley, as little as Portland has thrown the ball this year, he's still 3rd in northern Maine with 9 receptions and 90 yards. He's made a couple of nice plays, big plays here during the course of this season for Portland. And now, looks like back to punt is going to be Windham player number 3, Hunter Coffin. And number 7 is Vinny Pasquale to receive. It's a high snap. Does get it off. And it's going to take about a 1-yard Windham bounce. And it is a fumble. And Portland recovers.
Wow.
And straight up the left side is Vinny Pasquale.
There's a nice play by Pasquale, heads up. Windham doesn't down it. It hits him. Pasquale picks it up and makes a pretty good run. There's a flag towards the end of the play that's going to be against Portland.
But that hopefully is just on the return.
Yeah. A 10-yard penalty. I did not see what was called.
Nor did I, if it was called at all yet. Must have been a hold on the return. Heads up play, though, by Vinny Pasquale as the Windham players touched the ball and lost control of it.
So let's see what Teron Moss can do here on his 3rd series with the Dogs. The first one got off real well for him. They got stopped by penalties there. The second one was a quick series. So let's see what Teron's got on number 3 with Zach Elowich back there with him.
First and 10 from the 43. Moss back to throw, and he airs it out to Griffin Foley, who catches it on the sideline on the left side, just heading about the wrong way. But oh my goodness, folks, what a catch. About a 27-yard gain.
There was a little bit of contact there. You've got Moss coming off the field, coming up the field, holding on to his hand.
Is that going to be on Windham? Well, Windham is incredulous, so something's happening as Jacobson is apoplectic at the referees. Must have been a roughing or unsportsmanlike against Windham. The referees aren't really calling. It's the second penalty in a row where we don't know exactly what it is, if there is one at all. Because that's about where Griffin stepped out of bounds. Now there is. Evidently they're going to walk it down 10 yards. Personal foul.
So, the MPA may take a look at getting microphones for these officials so we understand a little bit about what's going on. We don't have the luxury of having the PhDs that a lot of other of our national partners do during their broadcasts. They can pick this up.
It's half the distance to the goal line in the personal foul, though, so Portland catches a break. It's first and 10 from the 13. Moss remains in the gun with those sure hands. He's got Pasquale in motion. And he takes the block on the right side. He sweeps out to the left, but he's going to be knocked back for a loss.
He better give up. That's one thing that he's going to have to pick up here pretty quick. He's got that aggressive athletic nature and not wanting to go down, but given what he's got looking forward to in the winter as well as right now, when somebody's got two hands on you at that point, you're going to want to let your legs go and go down.
Well, he has a scholarship, we believe, to UMO and Division I school. So
he made an official visit to Franklin Pierce, Division II, last week as well.
Oh.
So he's a talented young man, and it's interesting to see him out here on the football field as well. I'm sure Coach Russo spends a couple of deep breaths, but he'll figure that out in the winter when Tehran's there. But it's a good thing. It's nice to see nowadays where you see so many athletes are one sport and that's it. They don't do much of anything else.
There's a motion penalty against the Dogs, or delay of game actually, and it's going to be first and 18, I guess, here.
So it just goes back, and you look at a lot of these athletes that are out there for Portland High School, and they're multifaceted athletes, which is nice to see. It harkens to yesteryear.
Moss with that gets oh my goodness. Griffin Foley got some separation, and actually there was a little contact on the defensive end of things.
Well, it's interesting to see. It's nice to see, but that can kind of open that up for Portland, with Tehran having two nice throws out there with some distance. It's not just your quick shots. Windham's got to worry about that now. They can't stack a lot of people in the box.
And that was really a nice defensive play as well, a pressure by Maxwell and Maxwell Marshall, and he's a freshman who has been prominently in this game. Moss back to try it again. This time, same exact problem.
So this division, Steve's got seven teams, and when you start talking about playoffs and you start talking about the second season, they need one victory, maybe two victories to get in the playoffs. But as you see the growth going here with Tehran being able to throw the ball the way that he is right now, that can open up some different avenues for them and a path to the playoffs.
Well, folks, it's 4th and 18, and they're going to actually try to kick a field goal here. As the kicker is Quinn Clark. He's got 4 extra points this year. Boom, it's blocked. And Zach Elowich says, we're not going to let that go anywhere. So he quickly takes down the Windham player, but it was a heck of a play. So 7:28 left, and Windham will have the ball when we come back. 1st and 10 from the 32. Bernier in the gun. He's got Coffin in the backfield. And he'll pitch it to him. And he'll go through a big hole. And watch out, he's off to the races, but Teron Moss is there. He leads the team in tackles, and he'll bring him down by about the 30-yard line.
Watch Teron come over that, Steve, as he's coming over his back. That first hand went in, attempting to take the ball out of the runner's hand. So he's 2 things going on there. One, stop this kid from scoring, and the second one was let's get this ball back real quick. But sure hands kept it as he went down to the turf.
So Windham now with the real threat. It's 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. 7 minutes left here in the first half. The handoff goes to Marshall. He's brought down, I believe, by Kapungo. Six-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 4. There's a flag on the play as Tanner Grover got the carry.
Jeez, this isn't a very clean game right now, and right now it's in Portland's favor. They've jumped off the line, but it's stunted a couple of good drives so far. Both squads have suffered from this.
Checking in for the Dogs is Darian Darling, the 6'2", 223-pound junior lineman. 2nd and 9.
Nico Levitt right there crashes down on the end. Takes down Nathan Watson for the Eagles.
Or Tanner Grover.
Oh, is it Tanner Grover?
No,
oh.
There's 2 number 25s. It is Nathan Watson because he's the running back.
Pulling the old college stuff, wearing the same numbers offensively and defensively.
This is very interesting, this roster. 3rd and 8 from the 28. Bernier now has pressure, but he, oh my goodness, he makes something out of nothing, and he gets a first down, folks.
Certainly did. Nico Levitt deep in there, and he was able to juke around him, and then there was nothing else out there. So a short, first down.
Goes down to the 19, a 9-yard gain. It's 1st and 10 now from the 19. Valier, Jacobson in motion. Valier with the ball, though. And once again, Zach Elowich, and this time Griffin Foley in on it. I dare say that Zach Elowich has been in on about 80 to 90% of the tackles here today.
Active there defensively for the Dogs. These guys haven't seen a hot day like this in a while on the football field, and
probably all the way back to 2-a-days in August or something. 2nd and 8.
Ryan Lucas is refilling the water jug with 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, Bernier to throw, and
nice job
play by Griffin Foley to deny Jacobson.
Two-step drop and a quick release there, trying for Windham.
It's 3rd and 8 from the 17. 5 minutes left in the first half. Nothing is your score here on WPPS. TV3 Sports bringing you Portland High School football all year long. We have a flag. I was about to say it's about time for a penalty, John.
Yeah.
It's an offsides, though, and that is going to go against the Dogs.
Ugh. You don't want to see that.
Well, makes it 3rd and 3 from the 12. And Valier up the middle, and he brings 3 Dogs with him, and he scores. What a 12-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, nice run. He got up the middle. They opened up that hole for him well, and that's all she wrote.
It says something about the Dogs, though, that it took that long for a team to score on them by a long shot this year. They've been scored on in the first quarter every game this year, but this one. We'll get a look at the Windham kicker. I don't think it's McCusker, but let's see. It might be. It is. And it is
good.
Good. So there's your score, folks, with 4:55 left in the first half. 7-0, Windham Eagles over the Dogs. So it's interesting because it's Valier that kicks and McCusker that gets the points. Here's Foley taking it short. Gets away from the grasp of one. Oh, he takes a hard hit. And we'll see where it gets spotted, whether it's just past midfield.
Well, if you watch, Steve, what's going on, we know Moss has got a return for a touchdown earlier this year. Both of them that are back there have had decent numbers in the return game, and this might just be a strategy point. Maybe their kicker with McCusker is their decent kicker, and strategically he's not as good a tackler. So if they put the ball down on the ground real quick, and they've got another tackler there to help do that, maybe that could be it.
1st and 10 from the Windham 48. Moss will follow Elowich and go out to the left side where he's driven out of bounds by Salam. Stuart Salam, it's an 8-yard gain. Stuart Salam is quiet today. He is their leading rusher.
Yeah, and I'm not understanding that one after everything we've read here about Salam coming in.
Well, I guess his name might be pronounced Salem. It's Salom, but we heard that Salem is the pronunciation. So it's going to be 2nd and 2 from the 40. Nice opportunity here for the Dogs. Let's see if they mix it up a little bit. They don't. They get Stasium to get the first down on the right side, and he is cut down viciously. By Bernier.
Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest hits we've seen since we've been doing this, Steve. I mean, he just came from out of nowhere. There was explosion there. Clean hit him body to body, but boy, did he hit him.
Really a tribute to the athleticism of Bernier, their quarterback. But it's going to be 1st and 10 Dogs now from the 34. They have 4.5 minutes left here in the first half. They're down by 7. Moss is going to try to do it himself here. He gets out of the outstretched arm of Valier, but then ultimately he's brought down by the big actor there is Salem. A couple of nice defensive plays here for him. Moss is going to get credit for about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 32. be joined by Mike Hoffer at the half in a few minutes from the forecaster. So there's Moss. He gets tipped. So he can't get out of the outstretched arms of Justin Lebrecht, senior lineman.
We've got Lebrecht's name a bunch. We talked about him last week with the punt block into the end zone, and Windham withstood a 14-0 halftime deficit to come out of that game with a 20-14 victory.
That over Lewiston.
Lewiston, a much improved team. I mean, we've seen some of these squads, Steve, over the years have down years, and Lewiston and Bangor the last couple of years haven't been one of the top programs. But it looks like they're returning to their glory a bit.
It's a cyclical, right? As you lose players, Coach Hartman said we lost a lot of studs last year, and we've got some young players that are going to try to pick it up. But we have a Portland penalty. So it's a 3rd and 13 here. The ball is on the 37. So getting the jitters out here is that was a delay of game on the Dogs, by the Dogs. Moss, he's got some big pressure. And he's going to go on the right side and get a lot of it back, but not the first down. And it looked like he was going to get brought back. Instead, he makes it into about a 5-yard gain from what was going to be about a 10 or 12-yard loss.
Sheer athleticism there, Steve. That got him out of that trouble. He dropped back, tried to drop back into the pocket, didn't see anything. And anything but white jerseys in front of him, and then he took off real quick. We're going to have a Portland High School timeout with 2:44 left, and we'll be back.
So it's 4th and 7, folks. That's right there. And this time I think we have an offsides by Windham. And so we trade penalties here back and forth. It's going to be 4th and 2 now. That could cause a change here for the Dogs in terms of what they're going to call. 2 minutes, 44 seconds left. They're down 7-0 here in the first half at Fitzpatrick Stadium. On the field, it's going to be closer to probably 80 to 85 degrees anyway. Beautiful day here in Portland, Maine. Moss back to throw. Deep. And it's broken up by Salem. And it was an interesting play. 4th and 2 with the ball on the 26. It'll be Windham's ball in a moment. It's going to be 1st and 10 Windham now with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left. The ball is on their own 26-yard line. They've got one in motion, Coffin, John, this freshman. We have a flag and delay of game on the part of Windham.
This is a rather large amount of delay of game penalties. So it's interesting that we're halfway through the season and we're still having. I can understand Portland a bit because they've had some movement at quarterback. They've had 3 different young men there.
Well, it's like a day at the beach.
Yeah.
On the field today. 1st and 15 from the 21. And a nice solid play there. Tackle by number 88, Nico Levitt. So it'll be 2nd and 15 from the 21. 2 minutes, 17 seconds left in the first half. Bernier's got pressure. He gets out of it, though. And finally brought down by Stasium. Actually, yeah.
Well, there was a trio around him. Kapongo was in there. Nico Levitt and the third defender that he eluded there. They got around Vinny Pasquale, and thankfully, they had Ben Stasium there on the corner. They're managing the clock here. They're watching the officials before they snap that ball, 3rd and 14. A lot of room to the wide side of that field.
And actually broken up there. Valier was open in the middle, coming through the slot position.
Well, that's going to give Portland another shot at it. We've got a 4th down. Vinny Pasquale's back. He's shown his craftiness earlier in the game and his IQ by picking the ball up after a Windham player just tapped it, didn't down it.
So he'll pick it up. Oh, he'll drop it and then pick it up. He's at midfield and he loses his footing. So a minute late, 8 left here for the Dogs to try to get on the board. So it's 1st and 10 from midfield. Teron Moss to the right side to Stasium, but not fooled at all that time is Matty Babb.
Babb read that one well. Stasium took 1 step forward and then faded back. Babb had decent coverage on him out there.
We're within the final minute of the half here, and the Dogs are going to ultimately, barring any mistakes, end up being happy going in down by 7.
Well, what we've seen, Steve, is this team kind of come together a little bit. They've had a little bit of offensive success. Defensively, being able to stop Windham, who can be a high-powered offense. I mean, they've put up in both their victories 20 points, and they put up 20 points in a hurry last week over Lewiston.
Now we've got a Sam Nope with a reception. The ball is going to be brought all the way down to about the 35, 37-yard line.
We're going to have a Portland timeout.
1st and 10 from the 36. Moss, well, we have a flag.
They just
Goes
need
against Portland.
They just need another 5 yards to get comfortable here.
Goodness. So 1st and 15 from the 41 with 11 seconds to go. Almost kicked Teron Moss, and instead he's going to just take it out and he's going to stop the clock, I guess, to try to get one more play off, as he's been chased all day by Justin Lebrecht. He's been worrying him and hurrying him all day.
Well, Lebrecht had that look on his face, or I guess his legs, like, oh, jeez. He got up off his feet. You'll hear it from coaches, basketball, football, stay on your feet until you know what's going on. And he got up off the nice head fake by Teron. He got up off his feet and hoping he caught him with his leg on the way by.
Lebrecht, a good sport. We've seen him a couple times out there, glad-handing his opponents, even as he is having a great game here against them. 2nd and 12 from the 38. Good pressure, but now Moss is going to air it out. He's got Pasquale open, and oh my gosh, Pasquale is brought down on the 1-yard line just before the end of the half. Bernier gets credit for that, along with Coffin and Marshall. So the big 3 for Windham this half are the big 3 that stopped the Dogs from scoring. We'll go into halftime with the score. The Windham Eagles 7, the Portland Bulldogs nothing. So we're joined by Mike Hoffer at the half here, and John, you know, the Dogs almost brought it in at the end of that at the end of the half.
Yeah, great start. Well, you look at the growth for that, to Teron to complete that, Vinny to take that pass in. He twists one other way, he's in. But it's a learning thing, and it's great growth for the Dogs.
Well, Mike, Windham is really, they've got Valier, this fella here, number 34, has got 66 yards. Bernier has 53 yards. Teron Moss, on the other hand, 4 for 8 for 80 yards passing, and he also has 30 yards rushing. So a little bit different game from Portland than we've seen for most of this year.
Yeah, I think the gloves are off a little bit. I think they're giving Moss more free rein to handle the ball, and of course they're very conscious of trying to keep him healthy for good reason. But you've seen him try to hit Foley deep on 3 or 4 different occasions and barely miss. They did get the completion right at the end there. I thought Vinny was going to get in and tie this game up. He came pretty close. But I think for Portland, you've got to take chances downfield. I think they've got to get the ball in Griffin Foley's hands. I don't care if it's on an end around, a quick screen, something. I think they've got to get the ball in his hands, try to let him make something happen. Obviously, Wyndham's keying on Moss, understandably. But I think for Portland, you're at the stage of the season now where you kind of have to throw caution to the wind and maybe take a few chances.
Well, the point is well taken, as right now the Dogs would not qualify for the playoffs. They'd be the only team in the North not to. But we'll bring you exciting second half action in a moment. Thanks, Mike and John. We're back, folks, to start the second half, and it's a booming kick by Quinn Clark, and it's going to be out in the hands of Coffin, but picked up by out of the hands of Marshall and in the hands of Coffin, who takes it back.
Vinny Pasquale was in on that. Tackle.
So here we go now. It's going to be 1st and 10. From the 20. Windham enjoys a 7-0 lead. Portland right in this game. They came 1 yard shy of scoring before the half. Neither Moss nor Stasium were fooled by Valier in that delay.
So this is a great place, Steve, for Portland to start. They've got them pinned deep in their own zone on the 18-yard line after that 2-yard loss. And ending the first half the way that they did on that phenomenal play.
It'll be 2nd and 12, John, from the 18. Valier starts. Actually, that's Jacobson stopping and starting. Somebody steps off. This time it's Windham. I mean, it is Portland as it gets walked up.
Yeah, somebody stepped in the neutral zone. And these starts, I mean, this has got to be a hard count by Tanner Bernier.
It's been very effective today. Nice tackle by Zach Elowich. There's a flag thrown at Nathan Watson, or yeah. We understand that number 21 who's in the game today is not Stuart Salem, and that would explain why 21 has not been very active today. There's been a couple of defensive plays by whoever has number 21 today.
2 penalties there, Steve, called against Windham, so Portland will make their decision about where they're going to take that. Came at the end of the play. It had nothing to do with the play either. One of Wyndham's linemen downfield blocking.
It's a long walk for Windham right now.
Well, they did walk off a good bit of acreage there, giving Windham a 2nd and looks like 16.
Second and 17 from 13. We've got Jacobson in motion on the right, 2 wideouts there, and it goes up the middle to Valier, and nothing doing as Zach Elowich makes the stop. He is awfully strong coming in from that linebacker position today, John.
Sure is. We're seeing number 24 quite often there. He sure is. We're seeing 24 quite often come off that line.
Third and 17. The pitch will go to Valier on the right side. He is very tough to bring down, but he is brought down before he hits the first down marker. It's going to be 4th down and 3, so back to receive will be number 7, Vincent Pasquale.
Pasquale is one of the leading punt returners in the Eastern Maine statistics.
Hunter Coffin, Mr. Everything Mr. Everything here, gets a booming kick out to the right side. It's going to be out of bounds. It'll be Portland ball in a moment. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 35. Teron Moss in the gun. Oh, and
go down.
Yeah, you've got to go down when they've got you by the shirt. And once again, it's Lebrecht. Goodness gracious, Justin Lebrecht. What a game he's having for Windham today. So it's a 4-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 14 from the Dogs' 31.
Well, we'll see what happens now, Steve. We got a halftime read. Portland does have a decent first half, down just 7-0. Could have been tied with one different spin there, but they held a pretty good Windham team to just 1 touchdown in that first half. We'll see what Windham has done to adjust to Portland's offense.
Well, that looked awfully close to an offsides, but instead, Griffin Foley gets the ball. And as Mike Hoffer said, get the ball into Griffin Foley's hands. And there you go, folks, all the way down to about the 47-yard line. We have a player down for Windham. That's a 23-yard gain for Portland, and we'll take a break. So here we are, folks. It's 1st and 10 from the 48. Moss back to throw. He's got pressure. Oof. And that was just enough to make him throw over his receiver as Valier came in from the right side.
That's his first drop right back into a pocket. It looks like they were trying to screen to Nico Levitt coming over the middle.
2nd and 10 from midfield, from the 48. Levitt lining up wide right. Ball will come to Pasquale, finds the hole and up the middle to the 30, the 25, the 20, 15, all the way down to about the 10-yard line.
Nice play.
38-yard run for Vinny Pasquale.
Nice play by Pasquale. You can see him. He wanted to go wide with that, but he saw the seam. He read that play real well, Steve. Cut up behind those defenders. It would over-pursued. A nice job by Vinny getting up there and getting a couple of additional yards at the end with that last move.
Well, that's a nice also play for the Portland line to open up that big hole. And for Pasquale, for seeing it, all the credit. 1st and 10 on the 13 now. The Dogs are threatening. Moss will keep it. He'll go to the right. He'll get a few.
We got to watch that out. You've got Stasium and Pasquale were out on the far side of that field. A dangerous tandem, I would say, if they continue on with that the strategy of the quick pass, this two-step drop. And Vinny Pasquale's come off the field now. He's being tended to by Ryan Lucas. Looks like some cramping. But
goodness. 2nd and 7 from the 10. Moss still keeps. Gets another couple.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not complaining about warm weather on the first day of fall, but these boys haven't had this to this extent. I mean, when we hit the turf, it was about 75, so it's about 10 or 15 degrees warmer down there. If they're not hydrated at 10 a.m., they'll be in bad shape. And seen a couple of injuries or a couple of cramps coming out, get stretched out by the training staff and Ryan Lucas and his interns.
So Moss again, and this time nothing doing, is straight up the middle, is his nemesis all game, Justin Lebrecht.
Yeah, you pointed out earlier, Lebrecht's having a heck of a game, but if he's hit somebody hard or put a good helmet on his opponent, he does pick him up. There's a kind word or something's getting said there. You don't have anybody with bad sportsmanship out there, and it's a good thing to see.
Quinn Clark will come in now to try to cut the lead to 4. He's got Griffin Foley holding for him. Last attempt was blocked. This time it's up, and it is no good. It is wide left. So with 5:36 left in the third quarter, the score will remain the Eagles 7, the Dogs nothing. So it's 1st and 10 from the 20. Bernier will pitch out to the right side. There's a flag on the play as Marshall took the ball there, but Portland is all signaling that it's a penalty on Windham. Oh, we may have a fumble here. So there's going to be a conference, and we'll try to see if we can get a read from the officials. Very important play here if Portland has recovered a fumble, of course, this close to the end zone.
These officials have had more conferences than the Portland school system in this game.
All right, it's going to be Portland ball. We have a holding penalty that's declined. We have a fumble and a Portland recovery. So, folks, there you go. It's going to be Portland ball deep within the Eagle territory. That is a break. So the ball's on the 18, and Portland starting with its best field position of the day. Watch out, folks. Oh, it was almost intercepted, but it was at least broken up by number 21, whoever that player is that's not Ben Salem. Or Stuart Salem, rather, but still. That was a risky play with two backs right on your receiver.
Yeah, we've had some success with that quick pass, two-step drop out to Griffin, and maybe that's something else that needs to be explored a little further. We had that earlier, and we'll see. We've talked about it with Teron being a newer quarterback.
You know, the one thing about these two players is on the basketball court, they play travel ball together since at least 8th grade or 7th grade. They play basketball together for the Dogs. They know each other well. But there's nothing right there as Bernier gets the first hand on and then wrapped up by McGinnis, Connor McGinnis. So that was Pasquale, who's still kind of, he's coming off now and clutching his hamstring. He's going to time out here, an injury timeout. It looks like a possible groin injury. So 7-0 is the score. 4:55 left in the third quarter. The Dogs will have the ball in a moment. It's 3rd and 10 from the 18. Moss back to throw. Again, there is so much pressure on him. And, you know, the Dogs at this point, they're probably just going to go for it. They're so deep.
And these are younger kids, too, on this line. They're into new positions here. They've got to get themselves into a spot where they feel comfortable with this.
That was Marcus Canty with a nice play for Windham, among others. It's 4th and 19, a 1-yard loss, as Coach Hartman will confer with his quarterback. We have a Portland timeout. So it's 4th and 19 from the 27, and, you know, once again, there's pressure. And almost, you know, we'll see whether that's an incomplete pass or a fumble. Doesn't really matter. That's where it's going to end up regardless.
They've got to get that line's got to hunker down in there, and they've got to keep the defensive line off of Moss.
And you'll see Moss get up very gingerly, and he's limping right now. So he comes off the field here, and he won't play defense at the moment, as he's going to get a look-see. So 1st and 10 now for Windham when we come back. So Vinny Pasquale is back in now. Oh.
Well, lots of footing down there.
Yeah, and number 21, Mariba, will get credit for that stop. 2nd and 10. Ball is on the 37-yard line. Bernier back to throw. Some Portland pressure of its own and a nice sack by, looks like Silo Magno in there, coming in on a safety blitz.
Well, we're just under 3 minutes left, and we're still at a 7-0 score here with the Eagles on top. Portland's got to be happy with the position that they're in right now, and they've had some offensive success today, more than they have here in the past couple of weeks.
But straight up the middle is Maxwell Marshall, that freshman.
It's hard to believe that young man's a freshman.
Yeah, you know, that could be a mistake because, again, it also says offensive line, defensive line. So, you know, we go by what we have on the roster, but I agree with you, John. I think that for all we know, it's not even Marshall. 4th and 3. Ooh, very close. Zach Elowich was very close to blocking that punt. And Pasquale picks it up. He's on the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45 the other way, 40. That is a great return by Vinny Pasquale, finally brought down by Connor McGinnis and 3 others.
Yeah, you've seen that on 2 of his returns, some just high IQ stuff. he could see that the Windham guys were breaking down and slowing down, and he took that nice hop and turned that into some kind of return.
But a 44-yard return for Vinny Pasquale, who's having a great game here today for the Dogs, in between some stretches of some muscle pain.
Credit to Ryan Lucas for getting him back out there on the field.
Teron Moss to Griffin Foley.
Knee was down.
Yeah. Still, though.
Quick pass to the outside. Like you said, Steve, they've got history together. They've got chemistry. They kind of know what each other does. It's good to see that. Five-yard gain picked up there by Griffin Foley.
So 2nd and 5 from the 34. Oop. Boom. Hello, Justin Lebrec.
Ben Stasium, meet Mr. Lebrec. Lebrec should get an invitation to all the seniors' graduation parties because he's been in that backfield all day long.
He is Windham's leading tackler coming into the game with 16 and a half and 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 defensive touchdown. But what a game he's having today to add to that. I dare say he's had at least 10 tackles.
Yeah, he's going to be Eastern Maine's leading tackler after today.
Moss to the right. He's got his tight end, number 88, Nico Levitt. And it's, John, seeing the Dogs, make those short passes here may not be such a, by design, is probably not such a bad idea.
Right. And they're finding success in getting a new quarterback in there. You've got to see what he can do, understand what he can do. And, we're getting into the third quarter, and Coach Hartman and his staff are finding out what might be best and the different strategy to use Teron in. So they're finding it out here in the third quarter. We're at 7-0, and we'll be back.
So it's 4th and 4. From the 33, and watch out.
It's going to be on the Dogs.
And now Zach Elowich will get ready to punt. Maybe the key there, they were really just probably trying to draw Windham off sides.
They could have been with 4th and 4 that close. A 5-yard penalty would have got them the first down, but get Elowich to get a nice high punt. Big hang time here for coverage and pin Windham down.
Instead, we're going to have a timeout for Windham. So we're just at the start of the 4th quarter. The score is Windham 7 and Portland yet to be on the board. So here we go now. Zach Elowich to throw. And he completes the pass to Vinny Pasquale. What a play!
Great play, great call there. No one's expecting that. They're expecting Elowich to try to pop a big high punt and get some hang time.
And oh my goodness gracious, a 12-yard completion, John.
Yeah.
For a first down.
Great play by Elowich to be able to have the wherewithal to make that work, and Pasquale just to streak down there. They're going to let Pasquale go because they think he's a gunner, and he's wide open there. Nice job getting that to him. Nice job catching it.
Let me tell you, I live on Zach Elowich's street. I've seen him throw the ball. I'm not surprised. 1st and 10 from the 25. Moss now. Well, that hole was covered up nicely by number 25, who is either Henderson or Grover or Watson, rather. But there is a flag on the play, John. It's holding against the Dogs.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Seen too many of these. You got a 1st and 21. Too many penalties for the Dogs, but they've been able to overcome it at this point with just about 11 minutes left in this game.
Pasquale in motion. Moss to the left side, and he bounces it to Griffin Foley, who was open on the left, but Foley also had number 21 rushing up in coverage. It was going to be covered and handled, I think, pretty well. So it'll be 2nd and 21 now from the 36. We saw some cheerleaders. They're not out there now. They had an injury to one of their number during halftime. So it's 2nd and 21 from the 36. Moss back to throw. And just, look, all kinds of pressure back there. That was George Butts, the sophomore. Third and 21. Stasium will bring the play over to Moss from Coach Hartman. You can hear a pin drop in this stadium here today.
I think everybody's at the beach today, Steve.
Moss looks for daylight, and he takes it himself. Great play for Tehran. Looks like he got the first down. He gets a 21-yard gain, but we'll see. It may be just shy here. I guess it's going to be more than just shy. The spot is not helpful for the Dogs.
4th and a long one, it looks like. They got 1.5. 5 feet.
Now we'll see what happens here. And another timeout for the Dogs. So 7-0 is your score. We'll be back. It'll be 4th and 1 from the 16. Okay, 4th and 1. Here we are after the timeout. We'll see what the call is. And Moss is going to keep it, and he's going to get it. And he's going to go all the way in for a touchdown. Bulldog, 16-yard run for Tehran Moss. It's 7-6 and a very important point after right now. The way the kicking game has been going, John, you have to wonder whether or not the Dogs will try to line up to get 2. Because not only would they get a lead, but...
and I don't see Quinn Clark coming out there or his holder.
So he is going to go for 2 here. It's a very, very important play. The Dogs will be down by 1 or up by 1. Moss will take it wide left, and he is stopped shy by number 20, Tanner Bernier.
Oh, you look at this, Steve. Nice drive. They get down there. They don't pick up that extra point. Their defense has held Windham for the entire game to 1 touchdown in the first half. This is the second time that Portland's been in or near the end zone. They've shown a propensity to be able to get down there. The play calling seems to be getting better for the Dogs. With a 7-6 lead by Windham, will come back for more fourth quarter action.
So Quinn Clark to kick off for the Dogs now. They're down by 1. It's a nice kick picked up at the 6. Swarmed by many, many players is Hunter Coffin. His helmet came off.
True definition of a gang tackle there, Steve.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25. 10.5 minutes left. In regulation of this game, the Dogs are down by 1, 7-6. Nice defense there as the stop is made, I believe, by Kapongo and company. So 2nd and 10 from the 25. Bernier with Marshall in the backfield. Bernier tries to get outside and nothing doing. A nice defensive play by Portland.
Looks like Mariba got in there, got a little bit of penetration and tripped him up on the end.
It'll be 3rd and 9 from the 21. Bernier with 2 in the backfield. And he's going to throw. Oh, my goodness. Broken up, but or just out of the outstretched hands, really, of Hunter Coffin, Vinny Pasquale. Oh, so close, John.
Yeah, Pasquale, right place, right time, just a little out of reach there. But, we've seen Vinny over the years, too, with the propensity in the defensive backfield to be in the right spot. We've seen him with two heads-up plays today in punt returns. Let's see what he gives us this time.
Well, it's 4th and 9, as you suggest. And Coffin, once again, back to punt. Got Pasquale deep. And he's just going to kick it out of bounds at about the 45 or so. Well, the spot, I guess, is a little bit further than that. We'll be back. So, John, the mechanic, I guess, is to go back further, but it did land on the 50 out of bounds. So, ooh, boom, crushing
direct
up
snap,
the middle.
Direct snap right to look like Nope in there.
Yep. And once again, Lebrec front and center. Teron Moss is out right now and is kind of nursing his legs there. He's with trainer Ryan Lucas, taking a break here. So Sam Nope is in. It's 2nd and 12. He's in the gun. And under the gun here, folks, because it's a close game. Oh, he's batted down by number 34, Trevor Valier. So it's going to be 3rd and 12 now from the 48.
Well, it's good to see that Nope has got some IQ out there for a quarterback. Comes out after Tehran returns to the lineup, but that's got to be something for Coach Hartman to at least know that he's got a willing and able substitute there.
The sweep now as Stasium gets the ball and gains really a few, but it'll be third and probably about 9, third and 8 maybe. So a 4-yard gain. At least the clock says third down, but so it's 4th and 12 as
Oh, it's a rectified situation after a conference.
Zach Elowich set to punt. He'll be at about the 40.
Nice punt.
That's a good kick. Bernier takes a kind of a Windham bounce, but it's downed by Stasium at the 20. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 with 7.5 minutes left in regulation. The score, Windham Eagles 7, Portland Bulldogs 6. So what actually was noticed was that there was quite a conference there. The clock ticked off, and nice play. A nice tackle there by number 37, Silo Magno, and 56, Darian Darling. But as our statistician, Dave Levine, correctly pointed out, there was a lot of time ticking off the clock, and the officials at least did put back about 13 seconds. But point is, if there's going to be a conference, you hope they'll stop the clock if they can. In motion here on the sweep is number 3, Coffin. And he gets the first down. About 11-yard gain. First and 10 from the 31. Bernier with 2 backs next to him. Fakes it, holds it, comes out to the right. We have a penalty flag. We have a holding on Windham. Both teams just racking up the penalty yards here today, John.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Six minutes and 44 seconds left. The clock is stopped right now. Every possession here important for the Dogs as they're down by 1 point. First and 15. And nothing doing there for Trevor Valier. So we have a timeout, and it might be an official's timeout to allow the players to get hydrated. Regardless, it's 7-6 with 6:15 left in the final quarter here. We'll be back in a moment. 2nd and 15. And another nice stop by the Dogs. care of, he's hurt though. Kapongo is limping off here. Well, he wanted to get off, but he's not going to, they're not going to stop the clock for him here. So he's going to stay in. 3rd and 16 here.
A lot of clock management going on here. They want to see this kind of tick, tick, tick down. 3rd and 16.
There's the hole, but nothing doing, so it's going to be 4th down now. And the Dogs will be back to receive here. They'll have possession again, down by 1 point. So back to punt will be Hunter Coffin. Back to receive will be Vinny Pasquale on the 35. Windham managing that clock. They're going to take every possible second.
Oh boy.
And Pasquale, it's a deep kick.
Ugh.
But, you know, he's back pretty far. And, oh, my goodness. Folks, Tanner Bernier has had quite a game for himself today, and that was an extremely important play there as the Dogs have about 4 minutes to take the ball about 85 yards. So the Dogs are deep in their own territory, 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line. Teron Moss, as the safeties come in now. He's going to run. Heading downfield and taken down from behind by number 26, George Butts, but not before he gets the first down with a 17-yard gain.
Well, that's,
nice pickup.
Reminiscent of Isaiah Batchelor, who never went out of bounds. You get to that sideline, always chose to take a little bit more time. It does keep the clock running for the Dogs, but it was a nice run. Nice run by Teron.
He gets a good chunk going downfield now as it's 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line.
Teron's got 16 rushes for 83 yards today with that last pickup.
He's got Griffin Foley on the left side. Foley stays up and fights hard for another 5 yards on top of it. So another first down for the Dogs on a 15-yard pickup. 3.5 minutes left. The clock ticks here, and it stops for a moment. But we're right back going again here now, as it's 1st and 10 from midfield, just about midfield at the 47-yard line.
And we've got Griffin Foley totaling 70 yards on 4 catches today. So,
well, folks, this is a very, very important drive here for the Dogs. This could very well be their last chance of the day. Moss has Foley again. This time he'll get out of bounds after a short pickup of 5.
there you see that chemistry of knowing each other for as many years as they have.
They have such character. I've had the pleasure of covering them both in football and in basketball, and they are poised. They are great athletes. They're good students. They're good citizens, and they are an absolute pleasure. Those two, Griffin Foley and Teron Moss. Here we are, 2nd and 4. Credit for about a 6-yard gain. Moss now goes wide right, spins, gets the first down, still on his feet, but watch out as he is leveled by Nathan Watson or Grover.
Well, the resilience of the Bulldogs is coming through that we're used to over the years. They're showing a lot of character here, coming together, working that team chemistry together.
Well, it's 1st and 10 now from the 39. This is a terrific drive for the Bulldogs. And again looking for Foley, and again finding him. Whoop! And he gets out of bounds.
And Griffin's down. He's not getting up. The Windham defender came down hard on his legs.
And seems like he was thrown out by his shirt, thrown down by his shirt, but we also have a flag on the field, on the far side of the field near the Windham bench. So there's going to be a timeout here. 7-6 is your score, 2.5 minutes left in regulation. So Teron Moss with 245 all-purpose yards today, 93 rushing, 156 passing. And here he goes now. Folks, he's open on the right side here and brings it all the way down to the about 12-yard line. Another first down. That time, an 18-yard gain. What a tremendous drive, John.
Yeah, they get here with 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes left in the game. Time management here. Portland wants to put it in, but they don't want to give Windham too much time on the clock here. Ryan Lucas and his staff are working on Griffin Foley, who's still grabbed some turf over here on the side, tightening up his cleat, hoping for a return, but we'll see what's going on with Griffin. A resilient young man in all facets of his life anyways.
Yeah, we have a whistle now, and it's a false start on the part of Portland. So, again, a motion penalty. It was 1st and 10 with the ball on the 13. Now it'll be 1st and 15 with the ball on the 18. Again, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This young team is learning.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the hard way. We have 1:52 left. We're within 2 minutes here, folks. 7-6 is the score. The Dogs are down by 1. You can hear the fans here. The cheerleaders are back. Moss tries to go through the middle, and he's stopped very quickly by Braxton Cassidy.
Well, they're going to try to. I'm watching, Steven. I think they're going to try to keep the ball close to the center of the field. If they can't push one in, and that'll give Quinn Clark a good shot at it.
So the issue here is that, there's the clock is ticking, and it may just be a question of, our quarterback here being exhausted. There's a minute left here, folks. It's 2nd and 15 from the 18, and now we're going to have a timeout.
Portland timeout.
It'll be 2nd and 15, John, from the 18-yard line. We have 1:06 to go in regulation of this contest. Moss goes to the right, and we have a flag down on the right side of the field in the backfield here. Yeah, it's a holding against the Dogs. Christopher Vincent was limping gingerly there, is still limping from the O-line. But again, this is a devastating blow for the Dogs here within a minute. We're within a minute of regulation here. And the score is 7-6. So now it is 2nd and 25 from the 28-yard line. Oh, we're going to have another problem here. And it's a false start. So what was a very decent drive towards the end of the game has become a little bit of a nightmare for the Dogs right now, as they've had 30 yards of penalties or so here coming into this last part of the drive. John, we've said it before, we only have 6 seniors on this team.
Yeah, they're learning. They're putting the chemistry together. They got a couple of kids in new positions.
Moss goes for all the marbles. He's got Vinny Pasquale, but broken up by number 21. Even though he wasn't really looking at the ball, he certainly touched it first as the ball hit him in the back there.
That's the good thing for Portland here is that stops the clock. Just under 29 seconds remaining in this contest.
And 30 yards to go. So if you gain a yard a second, that's good.
Be a 50-yard field goal attempt from here.
Maybe what you try to do is get back half of it. If you have one more timeout, use it and try to kick it.
They've got no timeouts left, so
they're done.
Oh. Whoop. There's your 15, Steve. And he's out of bounds. There you go.
That was a great play.
Yep. He puts a little move on there. He was dropping back. He had one last shot at the end zone, saw the pressure coming in, and
it's 23-yard pickup.
And Griffin Foley's in there, one-legged, and will take his spot for the hold for his teammate Quinn Clark.
So it's going to be 4th and 8. And it's going to be a field goal attempt with 20 seconds left. It's a very, very important kick here for Quinn Clark, probably the most important of his career. It's up, and it is no good.
Oh, no. We got a little controversy here.
They're not signaling what it is. And
the back judge said no. The referee said yes.
Well, John, were there 2 back judges there to begin with on either side of the goalpost? Because I didn't see that.
No, I did not. I did see the official underneath the post wave it off.
So there's some controversy here on the field. And again, not knowing what the mechanics are of the officials, it didn't look like there were 2 in the best position, but we don't have a replay here, but you do on your television sets, and you can take a look. We don't have a great angle, of course, either, John, from here.
No.
Portland is, this isn't the first time that Portland's been on the side of this type of a controversy. I mean, I hearken back to the state soccer championship, several years ago against Bangor, when there was an official that indicated an indirect kick, and that would have meant 2 touches before it went in, and our goalie stood there and let it happen, and Coach Hartman is going to get a sportsmanship penalty here, but you can understand the frustration. And in that particular game, the Bangor player actually kicked a goal as a direct kick with 1 touch. So our goalie stood there, and the official let it happen, even though the side official, the line official, said it was incorrect because it was an indirect kick.
Yeah.
And so there you have one official saying one thing, the other saying the other thing, and it's very, very frustrating. Anyway, folks, there's 16.5 seconds left. The score is 7-6. We'll be back. So after a few more penalty flags, some frustrated Portland players, Windham will just take a knee here, and they'll win the game 7-6. A very, very disappointing outcome for the Bulldogs here today as they lose the game 7-6. This will be one to watch, folks. Of course, our camera does not have the best angle up here in the booth. Players will shake hands, and John and I will be back to wrap up in a moment. So, John, you choose an interesting day to come back and watch the Bulldogs. A heartbreaking loss here today, but they really had some superlatives. Teron Moss, 134 yards rushing and a touchdown, 145 yards passing. Griffin Foley, 6 receptions for 86 yards. Vinny Pasquale with 94 all-purpose yards. Something to build on.
Oh, absolutely, Steve. We talked about it throughout the broadcast. You've got a couple of kids in skill positions now that weren't there last year, so they're growing. And if you look at this game against the Windham squad, it was a really strong squad. You got Quinn Clark, who gets 2 decent kicks up there. He puts this last attempt. You know, there's going to be a lot of talk about this in the community over the week, over this last play. But there is a lot to grow about. They're 0-4, but this game really proved that the Dogs have got kids. They're growing every week. Teron Moss puts up a pretty good game statistically with over 20 throws. They've got some room to move, but they're going in the right direction.
We like to think so. Unfortunately, we saw Griffin Foley on crutches after the game, of course, so he may have tightened up a little bit. Hopefully he'll recover in time for the next contest, which will be this Friday at Cheverus High School. This is Steve Schwartz, along with John Coyne. Dave Elowich on camera, Dave Levine on statistics. For WPPS TV3 Sports, saying so long from Fitzpatrick Stadium, where today the Bulldogs were defeated at a heartbreaker 7-6. Good night.